Hello, it's October 2nd, 2021. I just want to talk a little bit about the synthetic telepathy part of this. I haven't talked much about it. I've written about it in my book, which I'll post a link to get that on Amazon as soon as it's available. Um, but some of the things about this mind control, mind reading, some of the symptoms of the effects I get are buzzing in my ears. I constantly have ringing in my ears. Um, I'm able to take some sleep medications to help me sleep and to kind of get rid of it. It's been going on so long that I've kind of become adapted to the buzzing. The other thing I noticed is in the last couple weeks I've been writing this book and talking, making recordings, posting them on YouTube, and I feel like a strong pressure in my head. It's almost it's like sort of like somebody squeezing your head a little bit. There's a lot of heat. I feel heat and pressure, and then it makes me really lethargic and tired. So I believe that they're able to induce some forms of psychosis, especially when they use gang stalking and they attack you with the weapons they have. I'm not sure exactly what I'm being hit with, but if it's microwave, then it's not really good for my health, I don't think. But I really noticed, even though I had a lot of sleep and I try to function normally in our business and everything, but later in the day I get really fatigued and I start to feel a little bit psychotic, and I really feel it when I'm delivering pizzas, and I can feel something hitting me. But that's one of the symptoms for sure. With the gang stalking, they create triggers that they know will gain a response from you. These were conditioned into me many years ago, and I thought that they were leaving me alone for a while, but they've brought them back and started the games again. It's almost like they show me what they can do to me again. And so I've bought a new dash cam. It's a higher resolution camera. It was kind of expensive. And then I also bought a body cam. It's like the police use. It records like 6-8 hours of video and audio. So I started using that. Also, I started posting more on YouTube. So I noticed in the last couple days, just particularly yesterday, that nothing was happening. There was no police, no vehicle stalkings. I didn't see the usual triggers, the people. So these things I wanted to record and show, but they're not there. So I think perhaps my defense with the cameras and YouTube and speaking out about this is having some effect on them coming after me. one of the things that I notice a lot, uh, usually when I'm resting and watching TV and having thoughts about things, I think about different things, but mostly thinking about this. It's been 25 years, and I haven't passed a day that I haven't thought a lot about it, a lot about getting my freedom back, being able to have my privacy and just a normal life. I've tried everything. I moved to Mexico. Um, I talk about that in the book, and also when I moved back here to Canada, even though they were after me, stalking me, threatening me, I still tried to just have a normal life and start this business with my wife. And so it takes my focus away from the crimes against me. So I usually just focus in on how many pizzas I have to make, or how many deliveries, or what I need to do to get ready. So it takes my mind off of it, but it all seems to come back certain times of the day. One of the things I notice when I'm watching TV, watching YouTube, or thinking about something, I get this twitching in my body. It's usually in different places, mostly my legs, sometimes my buttocks, sometimes my arms. But it's like a twitch, like I've had a twitch in my eye before, where my eyes kind of twitching, but these come, strangely, they occur when I'm having thoughts about something. And I started thinking a number of years ago that it was somebody or something, maybe the AI computers, that are monitoring your thoughts and then agreeing or disagreeing with you. I started to think that if I received a twitch on the right side of my body, my right arm or right leg, that they were in agreement with my thoughts, that I was right. And then if it was on the left side of my body, then they disagreed and I was wrong. So I became conditioned with these twitchings that when they happened, I thought right or wrong. So that was some of it there. Some of the triggers that they conditioned were the heavy gang stalking with people with baby carriages, small children, talking to the children while I walk past them, and holding them up, looking at me. I'm not sure what the message is, but it became very upsetting for me. So when it happens now, it's like these reliving the past nightmares. I understand there's lots of people with children around, but it's just the way they do it. It's like almost the same every time. The others is people with dogs, and they're walking the dog, they're pulling on the leash, they're looking at the dog, and they're talking to the dog. Then they look at me. A lot of times I go places and they'll be yelling at the dog when I deliver the pizza. I try to avoid these places now because they're upsetting. Well, like, even if there was nothing to it, people yelling at their dogs in front of you is kind of rude. First of all, dogs don't understand English, so it doesn't matter what you're telling them. They just know that they're in trouble for some reason. And why would you yell at your dog in front of somebody to make yourself look stupid. But that's part of it. The other thing is vehicles, particularly police and ambulance vehicles, fire trucks. I've documented a number of these on my channel here, but that's just the ones that I managed to capture and had the time to download off the dash cams and post. But this has been going on for years, and particularly when I moved back here in 2015 with my daughter, and they were everywhere. It didn't matter where I went. I remember one time I took my daughter to McDonald's. I didn't have much money, but I wanted to get her an ice cream and a treat, so I went to McDonald's, and I wasn't there more than 10 minutes, and the police, fire truck, ambulance, they all came, lined up on the street outside of McDonald's. I couldn't believe it because they just kept harassing me while I was driving around with ambulances, but I thought I'll go outside and capture some of this on my tablet. Anyways, there was two guys sitting outside, and they told me, they said, you know who the worst bully is? And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, and they said, it's the government, they said. And it all made sense to me that it was the government doing this to me, because who would have that type of resources, and who controls the police, fire department, and ambulances but the government? So I don't believe it's all employees of these services. I think there's certain individuals within them, within the groups, that are aware of this conspiracy, and they become part of it. Also, I think that people, because of the telepathy, I think that sometimes the people are doing things that they don't realize have an effect on you. I have a couple examples in my videos there. One is sweeping the floor, and one is I was at a coffee shop and the guy was mopping the floor. This happened many times, and this was a real trigger. Again, it was done to me so many times that it became a trigger to get me upset, to get me off center. So that's about all the major triggers. One that really used to upset me a lot was people would take their cell phones and they just hold them like this, looking at me, and they wouldn't say anything. So like this. So if you thought somebody was reading your mind or listening to your thoughts, then and you didn't like it, then somebody doing that to you is quite upsetting. But that's some of the triggers there. So how do I deal with it? I try to stay busy. I realize they must be monitoring the phone. So when I get a phone call for a delivery, they must know where I'm going based on the person giving me the address over the phone. But it goes even further, and they're able to use my thoughts to trigger others to order food. And this has happened at least on a dozen different occasions. And I used to think that the people calling were part of the group that was gang stalking me. somehow. And then I thought, well, I know these people, I've delivered to them many times. Why would they all of a sudden become part of a plot to make me go crazy? So I think that the system's able to do this to anybody they want. And I'd be thinking about somebody that hasn't ordered food in a long time, and like boom, the phone will ring and it's them at the same time I'm having the thoughts. And this has happened several times. Once in a while would be like a coincidence. You know how you're thinking about your family member or friends that live far away, and then they call you. Something like that, but more like precise. It was like right at the moment I was thinking about the person. So that becomes very upsetting, because I realize I'm not having any privacy in my own thoughts, so I can't even think anything negative about somebody without thinking that I'm being judged for it. One time in particular that stands out in my mind is the ambulances started coming here. The paramedics started coming here for their pizza, and there was one guy in particular, an Australian guy. His name was Dave, and they used to come here once in a while and get some pizza from me. But one time he said to me, "Oh, the people next door in the store, are they open?" And I said, not really, not too often." And then he said, "Oh, but they're nice people, right?" And this is kind of strange coming from a stranger. You know, he's not my friend. He's ordered pizza off me a couple of times. I joke around with him about Australia. I said there's like too many Australians here in BC. But I had many thoughts about the people next door, and it's because they don't open regular hours, and they don't put sign in front of what type of business they are, and it looks run down, so it makes the plaza we're in look run down. And when they're not open, it makes it even worse. So I thought negative things about them, sure, because it affects my business. I didn't think, well, I'm gonna kill them or I'm gonna burn their store down or anything. I just had negative thoughts about them. And then the ambulance made comments to me about it, and these were personal thoughts. Another example, which I had posted on Facebook, and this one was quite bizarre, was they're building a house across the street, and before, the house there was smaller and had a beautiful tree, and you could see the mountains through the tree, and it was really nice view from my window. And then the East Indians came and ripped that tree down and the house, and then put up this monstrosity, so I can't see the mountains anymore. But I joked to myself that, oh, I should go across the street and burn it down so I can get my view back. But obviously it was just a passing thought to myself. I'm not an arsonist. But anyways, about a month later after that, the house caught on fire, and it almost burned down. The police, or the fire department there, said that another 20 minutes and the rest of it would have went up in flames. There was smoke coming out the windows and flames inside. But it turns out it was arson, and somebody had gone in the basement and lit a fire in the basement. they asked me for my security camera footage, so I provided that, and it shows like a white pickup truck coming there early in the morning, but I'm not sure if they were able to do anything with that. The police never followed up with me, so I only gave them what I could there, but just like strange things like that. And they keep showing me that they're reading my mind. They always did. I wondered why they do that. I think it's to upset you, to get you distracted, because in the last couple of weeks I've been really distracted from the business. We've lost money. I haven't been able to open as late in the evenings. I've been closing early, and sometimes I just don't feel up to the task of delivery or making the pizza, the food, so I'll avoid the phone calls. So we're losing money because of this. And one more note I wanted to say is with the phone calls that I believe they're hacking my phone, because a couple examples on the videos, but it's happened many times that I'm trying to talk to somebody and the phone cuts out. And then if they're able to monitor my phone calls and incoming calls, then what's stopping them from just blocking calls coming in? And we've been here, we're established business, we've been here 5 years almost, and we have a lot of regular customers, and I just don't see them very often anymore, and I've lost business. I'm just wondering if maybe they're bouncing the calls, or maybe making it show disconnected, no longer in service, so they stop calling, or it goes to my voicemail. It's all possible, and I can't prove that, but these big telecom companies are in bed with the government, and it's possible that the government's been monitoring my phone calls and interfering, which is really illegal. We're supposed to live in a democracy, free enterprise, and you're supposed to be left alone when you're there to make business or to make a living. You're supposed to be unmolested, but that part I can't prove, but I've been quite suspicious about it. Anyways, I appreciate your feedback. If you have any comments or suggestions, I appreciate it. Also, I'm looking for some people to do Zoom calls. Yeah, anybody out there that has experiences like this, that I'm interested to include them in this discussion. So please leave comments. I appreciate it. Thank you.